This viral video has 13.3 million views, and it shows something that we already know from statistics, that modern women from first world countries have incredibly high unrealistic expectations. And the reason that I find it hilarious is because the culture, the people from the academia, is telling us that no, it's men because of comic books and because of video games. They have the unrealistic expectations. See, if you're a man that reads comic books, it's like you're in an isekai, like you're surrounded by these beautiful waifus, but you're like, no, dear, no. Look, this is the comic book. This is what I desire. This is what I want. You do not fit the unrealistic representation. This is literally what people from the academia think, right? So imagine just how dumb you have to be to interpret reality that way. Meanwhile, I will show you reality, and I don't even need to show a study or a poll for many people to know that this is the case. In fact, even when I speak with women, they admit that this is the case, right? So I don't know what competition this is from. If you guys know, like, let me know, because it's really hilarious. But basically, like, all these people around this lady are trying to court her, and she has to pick one based on her preferences. So I will not play it with sound because it has copyrighted music. But as you can see, she says that she likes tall men because she's pretty tall for an Asian girl, which, you know, like, this is fine. Like, this is fine. Women do like tall men. If you happen to be a tall woman, then already you may have a problem finding a man that's taller than you. But okay, you know, it is interesting though, because if you're a man that says, I like women with big boobs, then all of a sudden you're being an asshole, right? Because that's a superficial characteristic. That is horrible. But if a woman says, I like tall men, then that is normal. That is acceptable, right? She can even, like, pick men based on zodiac signs. Like, that's another thing, right? So, like, if you are a man and you say, I like dating Asian women, that's racist, horrible. But if a woman says, I like dating men based on their zodiac signs, I like dating Pisces, oh, that's progressive, that's understandable. But still, right, like, she likes tall guys. I guess, like, basketball players, 6 feet tall, that, right, like, the problem is, like, when you want something that other people want, like 6 feet tall is something very common that I hear among women. You're basically, like, wanting something that's on very high demand. So the question is, like, what do you have to put on the table? Because the competition is very tough. Like, you're not the only woman that wants that 6 foot man. It's like a lot of women want those 6 foot men. So, you know, like, if you want one that's not going to cheat on you or one that's going to be loyal, it's going to be very difficult, right? Because, again, like, the demand is very high. So, yeah, like, she says that she wants a 6 foot man, and as you see, already, like, a lot of the men in the room are leaving. Which is interesting because in the beginning, like, she had a lot of choices, right? Like, surely when you see so many men in a room, you'll think at least one of them is going to suffice, right? Like, surely, like if you reverse the roles and you put a man and around him is, like, a group of women that aren't bad looking, right? Like, these men are average or above average looking. Like, if the genders were reversed, like, surely the guy would pick at least one, or he would have, like, difficulty in making a choice between two. But like her first desire, based on height, which can't be changed, it can't be altered. She already lost more than half of the men. Okay, so let's see what else she desires now. She has a younger brother, and anybody younger than her, she would automatically think that it's like her brother, so she wants someone that's older than her. Right, so she doesn't want a person that's even 1 month younger. And as you can see, you know, they say you're going to be single for a while. Right, now, the thing is, like, this particular show, like, I don't know if it's scripted or if it's legit. Now, the reason I find it interesting is that the demands weren't even that unreasonable, because I have seen on the internet demands that are far worse. It's like, he needs to make $300,000 a year. He needs to have a PhD. This is on top of the height requirement. So, like, her demands were just have a man that's younger than her and taller than her, right? But the problem is, like, when you want someone that's 6 foot tall, again, like, those men are really hard sought after, like they're prime real estate. Why would they go out with someone that's 25 when they can go out with someone that's 18? Right? Like, that's that's the question. When you say you want men younger than you, and like not even 1 month, like not even 1 month younger than you, because you have like some, and I'm sorry to say, but like this lady literally said like she's got like some mental issues, because if someone is younger than her, she immediately thinks of her brother. Like, that's a you problem. That's definitely not something that's even remotely reasonable, right? But okay, fine. If you are like that, you're not willing to compromise. You're not willing to you're not willing to even give a person a chance, just because like you have like this checklist. And unfortunately, human beings aren't the checklist. Like, human beings have qualities and flaws. But what I do see is that a lot of modern ladies, especially on the internet, they are looking for something that's not human. Like, they are looking for something that has absolutely no flaws. And I'm genuinely curious, if you were to ask them, like, name me 5 flaws that your significant other could have. Like, what would they say? Because when you look at the men, which society tells us that we have unrealistic expectations, there are men that put up with a lot of things. Like, she can have a rotten personality, but because she's good looking, men put up with that. She may be unemployed, but because she's good looking, men put up with that. She may have cellulitis, but like because the rest of her body is good looking, they put up with that. Like there's a lot of things that men are willing to put up with. So no, I don't think like men are the ones that have unrealistic expectations. I will prove to you that it's mostly online women from first world countries, because like you don't get to see this in other places. But it's first world countries that have unrealistic expectations, right? And the way you can do this is to ask them, like, what is your perfect husbando? Like, what exactly would you want in a man? And they will give you a list of things, right? Like, make more than $300,000 a year, have a PhD, have a significant height. And then the follow-up question should be, does your father fit into this? Like, is your father over 6 foot tall, right? Is your father earning more than $300,000 a month? Is your father doing... No, right? Because like they're describing less than 1% of the human population. And when that happens, you ask, well, why can't you be a little bit more humble like your mother was? And of course, they will usually say, well, my mother didn't have a happy marriage, or my dad, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, but like that's part of being human. Like, the idea that it has to be perfect is not true. Like, it's not even true when you're looking for a job. Like, when you go to your work, right? Like, no job is entirely perfect. You go to your work, and sometimes you have to put up with the nasty boss. Sometimes there's things that are asked of you which are unreasonable. Like, you have to put in extra hours. And, sometimes you get burnout and stuff like that. Like, no job is perfect. So, like, my question is, like, why can't women treat dating more like a job? Like a job application, I mean, right? Like, when you go to get a job, you're only interested, like, am I getting to be paid good? And maybe you have, like, a couple of other preferences, but you also tone down your expectations, right? Like, if you go to work to an independent contractor, you don't expect to be paid as if you're working for Google, is what my point is, right? So it's interesting because, again, like, women, when they go looking for jobs, like, they do tone down their expectations, and they know their worth. But when you look at these types of shows, it's almost like, I don't know, again, like, if you're looking for, like, less than 1% of the human population, the follow-up question is, like, what do you as a person have to put on the table to compensate for what you want? And the answer to that is usually, well, nothing, except her personality and good looks. Okay. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.